Good morning. Is it still morning? Yes, it's still morning. Good morning. Thank you everyone for coming out today to see our wonderful governor. I'd like to thank State Representative Patty Kim, County Commissioner Jean Fauci for joining us today as well. And again, thank the governor for coming to Lemoyne. I mean, how great is that, right? So our tagline here in Lemoyne, many of you know this, some don't, is we're the little town that has it all. So you can get pretty much anything you want here in Lemoyne. Wonderful food options. I mean, pretty much any kind of food you want is here. Groceries, clothing, gifts, specialty items, unique jewelry, fresh produce, fresh meats, plants, food and beverages, anything from all of those to a brand new home, beautiful new home, or a beautiful new vehicle here. Thank you to LB Smith. Rick Jordan's over there.
Who knew?
That's right. And Lemoyne is such a unique little town. Location, location, location. I can tell you that I moved here, I'm an East Shore girl actually, but I moved here about 40 years ago because of the location. Because you can be anywhere in about 20 minutes from Lemoyne. So it's just great. We're minutes from the state capitol. So we're this great little mecca, but we still have that small town feel, right? So in my neighborhood, you have neighbors talking over the fences, you have kids screaming, running around in the yard, clothes hanging out on clotheslines. To me, that's that small town. That's where I grew up. So Lemoyne is home. We are walkable and bikeable to the city and all through Cumberland County as well. We're working on improvements there. Most of you know the bottleneck is being upgraded, right, thanks to the efforts of PennDOT, Tri-County Regional Planning, Norfolk Southern, our wonderful friends, all of those institutions, and the state of Pennsylvania. So biking and walking is going to be improved through there. We're going to have very wide berms on either side of the road, very wide sidewalks. Norfolk Southern has graciously agreed to actually move the abutments back, so there's going to be room there, much more room for people. So we're really happy about that. We're also working on another project with Norfolk Southern with the railroad tracks over here between Bosler and Market. And they're abandoning those tracks to a certain point, and they're going to be taking those up, we're hoping. And so we're working on a rail to trail there as well. So that's in the real beginning stages, but collaborating with the county, again, the state, all of our partners for that. We also just submitted to DCNR our comprehensive open space and recreation plan. So we're really excited about that. So we're going to be giving a facelift to all of our parks here in Lemoyne. And they're wonderful now. They're going to be more wonderful. So stay tuned for that as well. But there's still a lot to do. Many of you know that on Market Street here, we have the streetscape project that not everyone really looks at as wonderful, beautiful flowers all the time. But that's because the plants that are planted there are native plants. They are specially chosen because of their ability to filtrate water and all of the impurities before the water gets down into the ground and into the rivers and creeks. So, so that's why they always don't look like flowers, but they really serve a great purpose here in the community and in the greater area as well. We are also looking at some 3rd Street improvements, give our 3rd Street area a facelift, and we're always working on our aging infrastructure here in the borough of Lemoyne. So
I like the way you looked at me when you said that.
wink,
I've got
wink,
my
nod,
work
nod.
to do now.
Yeah. So we're really grateful to Governor Shapiro for coming here today. We're grateful for his new program, the $25 million that he has earmarked in the budget for the Main Street Matters program, which is monies that communities can tap into, can apply for to help with the infrastructure. So with that, I want to again thank Governor Shapiro for coming, and it's all yours.
Great.
Thank you all for coming too.
Thanks, Gail.
And let me introduce Ms. Patty Kim, our state representative.
Thank you, Borough Council Member. Good morning, everyone. I am so honored to be here and so excited to be a part of this initiative. I'm very proud that my district office is in Lemoyne. I picked Lemoyne because of the wide roads, the clean and safety aspects of Lemoyne Borough. And as you can see, the council members really care about this borough and does a very good job. So in my teenage and college years, I grew up on my mother's flower shop. Didn't get paid at all, but I saw the works of a small business owner up close, and it is hard. They are so consumed about what goes on inside, the employees, making a profit, buying supplies and whatnot, and there's very little thought about what goes on the outside of her flower shop. We were actually on Main Street in Laurel, Maryland, and to have a governor who, you know, if he had ever visited my mom's flower shop, she would have flipped. But to have a governor walk through the streets and talk to the small business owners and basically saying, I see you, I want to support you, and I have some money allotted to help improve your business in terms of helping attract more customers into their businesses. So I am so supportive of Governor Shapiro's expansion of the Main Street program. I think it will do a lot of good and benefit our small business owners. And again, at minimum, just saying that we care and we want to be supportive and see you succeed. With that, I'd like to introduce Craig Katshir, who is one of the co-owners of the West Shore Market. Craig.
Thank you. My name is Greg Katcher, and along with my wife Tracy and my sons Riley and Charlie, own and operate the market. And I think, like Representative Kim, I don't think I get paid either. This market has been family-owned and operated since 1950, when Tracy's grandfather built the original market on this exact location. Right now, we currently have 60 vendors. 46 downstairs and 14 upstairs, and we and our vendors are the epitome of small town Main Street America. Our vendors offer personal service and attention that I think we can only be found in a small business setting. We're very fortunate that we have all the community support that we do. But running a small family business can be difficult. That's why we're so thankful and appreciative of Governor Shapiro and his efforts to help promote small business and Main Street America. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you very much. Thanks, Greg. I want to thank you and Tracy for welcoming me here today. And this will not be the last time you see me or my wife Lori, our First Lady. We'll be stopping by here to pick up some stuff for dinner, I know, very soon. I also want to say thank you to you and Tracy and your ancestors for helping build this place and for helping give us a sense of community right here in Lemoyne. Lemoyne is a happening place, and Lemoyne is a wonderful community to live in, to work in, to play in, as Gail and Representative Patty Kim spoke about earlier. And Lemoyne is an example of the kind of places my administration wants to invest in. Let me explain to you why. You know, I'm privileged to serve as a 48th governor of this great Commonwealth and to travel all across Pennsylvania, rural, urban, and suburban communities. And while the terrain and the topography may look different where you go, you can often tell the strength of a community based on the strength of the main street in that community. Now, sometimes the main streets have high rises and sometimes they've got a single-story building. Sometimes they've got a great farmers market like this West Shore Farmers Market, and sometimes they've got little coffee shops or other places to go and grab food in. But what they all have is a sense of community. And what we have seen is when you invest in these main streets, when you invest in the small businesses, which are the lifeblood of our economy along these main streets, you strengthen our communities. For a long time, I think the Commonwealth lost sight of that, and we'd invest in that big suburban office park or those high rises in our cities. And don't get me wrong, that's important, but we can't lose sight of our small businesses. We can't lose sight of our main streets. And so I've proposed in my budget something called Main Street Matters, a new $25 million investment in main streets, like here in Lemoyne and other places across Pennsylvania, where we want to make sure that we can tackle two things with those additional resources. Number one, make sure the infrastructure of the main street is strong, whether it's sidewalks or lighting, facade improvements, you name it. But we want the communities to come up with that and tell us what they need, and we want to fund it. The second thing we want to do with that is invest directly in those small businesses and make sure they have what they need to be successful. Maybe it's a new piece of equipment. Maybe it's a new storefront, whatever the case may be. We know that if we invest in main streets, good things happen in our communities. And we think this is particularly important. I will tell you, this is a common sense investment. And this is an investment that has drawn bipartisan praise and support. You know, I'm the only governor in the whole country with a divided legislature, meaning one chamber, the House, is led by Democrats, the other chamber, the Senate, is led by Republicans. So for us to get anything done, we got to come together. And that's what we've been doing during my first year as governor. We're going to keep doing it, and coming together around main streets is a great example of the smart investments that we need to make. Now, you know, I proposed a large budget just a few weeks ago on the steps in the Capitol in the Rotunda. Representative Kim was there. And it was a bold, aggressive budget that's going to allow us to compete, that's going to allow us to move Pennsylvania forward, create jobs and economic opportunity. It's a budget that cuts taxes, it doesn't raise them. It's a budget that invests in schools and public safety. And, you know, if you were going to adopt every single thing I proposed in that budget, and I know there'll be a give and take, but just for argument's sake, if you were able to adopt everything that I proposed in that budget, with the $14 billion surplus we have in state government today, you'd be able to cut taxes, make critical investments like what we want to do here on Main Street, and still have an $11 billion surplus when all is said and done. Now is the time to invest in the good people of Pennsylvania, to do so in a common sense, bipartisan manner as I've proposed. And I'm excited about what we're going to be able to do here together, to make investments like this on main streets, to strengthen our communities, to focus on the next generation through our classrooms and through workforce development, to cut taxes and cut costs for those who need to see that happen most, especially our seniors, and to still maintain a healthy surplus to be able to prepare for a rainy day in the future. This is a moment to make critical investments, and I'm excited to be here at the West Shore Farmers Market to talk about some of those investments that we want to make. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to keep taking my walk around, so I'll stop there and look forward to any questions from the media and then get a chance to visit with all of you. I feel like I want to talk to these two guys over here, because every time you come to a farmer's market, there's always a couple guys hanging around in the back who have a lot of wisdom, who can often share stuff with you. So I'll come over and find out what's on your mind after this, guys. And with that, let me see if anybody in the media has any questions. Yes, Dennis.
Do you have any metrics built in that we can learn what return on investment that $25 million might bring? A way to measure that, okay, we spent $25 million, but here is exactly where that money went. Because a lot of times at the state level, there's programs, we spend money, but then there's no follow-up on whether that program actually worked.
DCED has metrics, and I want to be clear, sometimes the metrics are pretty clear. As a result of our investment, we were able to attract new small businesses to occupy some of the previously unoccupied storefronts on a main street. That's a simple example. Or perhaps as a result of investment, a farmer's market like this can make sure that they're at 100% capacity with their tenants. I think these guys already are, but just for argument's sake. And then there's other things that maybe are harder to measure, that we're attracting more people to just take a walk down a community, maybe to pop in the restaurants. We see sales go up a little bit in that restaurant. That generates more tax revenue. Sometimes it's a little harder to quantify that, but we know that with more investment in Main Street, with more businesses coming in, with aggregating more resources in a community, you get more foot traffic, more cars coming, more people walking down the street, more folks biking into a community. These are all good things. It leads to higher tax revenues, and it leads to greater growth for this Commonwealth. we have a pro-growth budget that I've put forth. And so whether you're investing in main streets or those high rises or suburban office parks, we expect to see revenues grow over the next several years as a result of making these smart investments now.
And you said that you're looking to invest directly into some of these small businesses, whether that be storefronts or equipment they need. How exactly can these small businesses utilize these funds and really get it themselves?
Absolutely.
How do they do that?
So we're going to have a program run through the Department of Community and Economic Development. They'll have an application process. The simplest way to do that is to typically work with your community development organization. Most main streets have one, where they're going to be able to apply not only on behalf of the borough or the town to be able to bring in some of the infrastructure funds, but also on behalf of those small businesses here. We want to streamline the process and make it easy. One thing hopefully you've noticed about our administration is we've got that GSD attitude, the get stuff done attitude. We have cut down wait times, cut down processing times. We're getting money out in the field way more quickly than ever before, and this program will be no exception. We want to get the dollars out to main streets as quickly as possible, typically through their local organizations. And I think there's a broader point here. I don't believe it's my administration's job to come into a Lemoyne and tell you what you ought to do. I think it's our job in our administration to come to a Lemoyne and say, what do you want to do and how can we help fund that? How can we help support that? How can we help cut through the red tape to get that done? That's our attitude here in Lemoyne and all across Pennsylvania. Yes?
When you look at the initiatives that you've laid out, I know we've talked a lot about using the surplus we have to invest in these programs. How many of those initiatives, though, it's okay to have that one-time investment, they do their work and then they're done, but how many of them are also expanding long-term programs that you will have to keep funding that afterwards? You talked about incoming revenue, but
Yeah.
that's hard to measure.
So our budget lays out very clearly what's recurring and what would be one time. Look, we want to see recurring investments in main streets, just like we want to see recurring investments in our classrooms, right? And many other initiatives. What I hope you'll see as a result of these investments is real economic growth. Growth like we've not seen in Pennsylvania before because, quite frankly, we've not made a lot of smart investments in the past. We've held on to too much of Pennsylvania's money in a bank account in Harrisburg instead of reinvesting it back in them. Look, I don't think it's a badge of honor for any politician to brag about how they took more money from the good people of Pennsylvania and left it in some bank account in Harrisburg. I think instead what we should be bragging about is how we invested back in the good people of Pennsylvania. That led to growth, that led to opportunity, that led to real choices for folks in their communities, and that led to really a prosperous future for all Pennsylvanians. That's the focus of this budget, that's the focus of our work. Growth and opportunity, and I believe we can accomplish that together. And again, I want to state for all the naysayers out there, for all the folks who are kind of used to status quo, not making investments, my budget is balanced. My budget cuts taxes, it doesn't raise them. And even if you do everything I propose in my budget, we'll still have an $11 billion surplus when all is said and done. And I think we're going to be able to see real growth as a result of these investments. Now's the time to come together, Democrat and Republican alike, and make these investments in our economy, in safety, in education, and ultimately in real opportunity for all Pennsylvanians. Thank you all very much. I'm going to keep taking my walk. Thank you.
Lemoyne used to come a lot.
Is that right?
Even when he was,
We got one. Actually, how was like that? It's like a peanut butter filling or something. But something's like what's sort of your number one selling? Thanks. Glad to be here. Have a great day. Case may be, we know that if we invest in Main Streets, good things happen in our communities. We think this is particularly important. I will tell you, this is a common sense investment. And this is an investment in businesses, which are the lifeblood of our economy along these main streets. You strengthen a new $25 million investment in Main Streets, like here in Lemoyne and other places across. Great example of the smart investments that we need to make. Now, you know, I proposed a large budget just a few weeks ago on the steps in the Capitol in the Rotunda. Representative Kim was there. And it was a bold, aggressive budget that's going to allow us to